Welcome to the shortest banjo podcast ever, the COVID sessions, where everybody holds a banjo, and if they don't have one, they have to play air banjo. Melissa Doran and Matt Holt were at the height of their powers before COVID, performing in clubs all over and gathering up paying gigs. Then, well, I'll let you see what has happened. Melissa Doran and Matt Holt. Well, do your best, is what I always say. Hey, looky who's here. It's Matt and Melissa, and they're in the bed. Hello, how you doing? So glad. I know y'all have COVID, so we're being very safe. I have a mask here on.
We had COVID.
You don't have COVID now?
Well, no.
That is great news.
You're telling us.
I'll take this off then. Well, that's good. I thought you had it now. I mean, you look great. You don't look like you have COVID. You look similar to what I remember you looking like, a year ago when I saw you in person. So that's wonderful. Yeah. I'm glad. When did y'all have COVID? Seriously.
We had COVID over the summer. At the end of July, Matt got COVID and then gave it to me.
You gave it to me.
I did not give it to you. Matt gave me COVID, and then we were out of commission for like 3 weeks. Yeah. Very sick with COVID.
That you gave me.
That Matt gave me. We liked the bed part of it. That was it.
That part was good.
We didn't like getting up and doing anything, so we've adapted that part of COVID. But
I'm glad that you're calling it COVID.
Yeah. No. Well, because he had it first, I was calling it the swine flu, but that was more.
That's mean.
That was more accurate than anything. No, yeah, it's been tough. I mean, you have to quarantine. You have to be away from your friends. I had to stop hanging out with my friends. I like playing music with some of my friends.
I don't want you hanging out with them. What do we talk about?
I'm not going to hang out with those guys anymore. Those guys are bad news.
They're bad news. You're better off without them. Just me. That's all you need. Well, in love.
That's all you need. Me and you. Imagine that.
I cut my own hair.
Yep.
I think it looks good.
It was long and flowing, and now he did a COVID haircut.
It looks good.
Cut his own bangs.
Yeah.
Looks pretty good. Do you like it, Kirk? What do you think?
I'm impressed. It's making an impression on me.
You like it, right, Dave?
Oh yeah.
Looks good. You told me it looks good.
I did tell you that.
Yeah, it looks really good.
I did tell you that.
What farm implement? What farm implement did he use to cut his?
I used a grapefruit spoon.
A grapefruit.
That's all I had. I had that, and I had a spork. So I used the spork to hold it up, and then you got to really saw at it. It took me like 3 days because I was fatigued.
He wasn't using that grapefruit spoon for anything else. So.
No, it's pristine.
Just kind of sitting there.
Cleanest piece of silverware in my house.
It wasn't getting used.
Yeah. But it took me 3 days to do it because I'd pass out and then wake up, and because of the fog, I wouldn't know what I was doing. But I'd start back, and I'm not a quitter.
Darn that COVID.
Maybe if I had more citrus around here, I wouldn't have gotten COVID. It's perspective.
Yeah, we've heard that. We saw that on a meme.
Yeah.
So it's got to be real.
Well, that's how you learn stuff.
So there's a debate on who gave COVID to who in this relationship.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna do some simple math.
Okay.
I'm not like a rocket scientist, but I'm gonna do some simple math.
Yeah.
Matt got sick first, felt sick for a while, went and got diagnosed first. All the while, I was okay. Then after that, I started to feel ill, got tested, and then I was sick. It's up for debate of who gave it to who. But if we're just following along a pretty simplistic timeline, he was sick, and then I got sick. So who knows? Nobody knows who gave it to who. We've decided to put that point to rest, so we don't argue about that. But there's no telling who gave it to who. Although, he had it, and then I was okay, and then I seemingly got it, and
I was symptomatic.
No way. It's impossible to know.
There's no way to know who gave it to who. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Her doctor seems to think that the symptoms were brought on by this relationship. So
My doctor is my mom, but we've lost a lot of, like COVID fog made us lose a lot of our cognitive ability.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
this is definitely good enough now, this relationship.
yeah,
It's definitely helped the relationship.
this has been a big shot in the arm I needed. I get away with a lot of forgetting things now. This is
Yeah,
good.
everything that he does wrong is COVID fog. That's what he calls it.
It's too bad her birthday happened before COVID because I could have forgotten it.
What's y'all's favorite symptoms?
Oh,
His is the COVID fog. He gets to blame the COVID fog.
The fog, okay. Fog's
Yeah.
his.
It's very convenient for you.
the fog is something that does continue. Like it does not go away or has not gone away for us.
Yeah.
And then also we still get the kind of the fatigue from every now and then too.
Yeah. I like if there's certain obligations that I maybe have committed to,
Mhm.
I like to say that I get very dizzy is what happens. I get very
Yeah.
dizzy from COVID.
Yeah.
So it's not
Yeah.
it's just I can't do certain things now sometimes because I'm very dizzy. So
Yeah, we were going to film this last week. I remember. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I understand.
Can you imagine all the people that are going to see this and know?
yeah. Imagine
Tens.
all the people.
Y'all were supposed to have a banjo.
We have COVID fog.
Oh yeah, Matt forgot to get that together because he's got COVID fog.
Yeah, okay. Well, then you know from the contract that you're going to have to play air banjo, both of you, and start
Yeah.
going ding, ba ding, 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 and make the sound. Bling, ding, 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 ding.
That's weird.
Bling, ding, 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 ding.
I think that sounds like he's doing it. Bling, ding. We're not good air banjoists.
Well, you have to make the noise. You got to go blink.
But I can make this motion for a long time.
Yeah, and I've seen you do that.
I dated a dude over 45, so I can do this for a really long time. So we can keep doing this. Does that make it any sound?
At some point, I turn the camera off.
It usually doesn't produce anything. So do I just keep doing this?
Women first. So, Matt, tell everybody about your comedy career and when it started.
It started in 1999 in Indianapolis, Indiana. So I'm going on 22 years of
Wow.
COVID willing. So so it's been the last 10 years I've done nothing but stand up on the road for my income.
Mhm.
So COVID has not been my friend this year.
How many shows did you have canceled?
That's what, 10 months, 9
Yeah.
months,
Yeah.
3 weeks of shows a month. So it's 27 weeks and then 4 shows a week. So
Yeah.
120 shows probably.
120 shows he had canceled. And
Right.
now he's here playing your air banjo.
Yeah.
That's what COVID has done.
Yeah.
That's not stunning. If that doesn't have you wear a mask.
Which clubs have you worked that you're aware of have closed this year?
There've been a lot of like small like one-nighters that had done comedy. There were like bars and things like that, and they've gone by the wayside. Clubs that have closed. There's a couple in New York that closed.
Stand Up New York, which I used to do when I lived there.
Yeah, yeah.
But their
Yeah, I knew
doors are
about
closed.
stand-up.
I don't know that they'll open back up. They don't know that they'll open back up.
Right.
Yeah, Cap City in Austin, Texas closed. That's a legendary club that's gone.
Mhm.
The Jukebox in Peoria, Illinois is very, very close to closing. He's had to resort to a GoFundMe campaign. So there's a lot out there. Yeah, in the beginning, I was doing a nightly video, and I turned it into a little bit of a talk show. And then I did a couple roundtables that were streaming where Melissa was on and some friends were on. So
I did a couple of shows, like just a couple comedy shows that I hosted and did. So yeah, I think it's a good way for comics to stay vibrant and still write and still kind of scratch that itch, but it's clearly not the same. It's a completely different medium, but
yeah,
I think people stuck at home enjoy it.
yeah,
As much as we're real like critical on it and comedians and people, because we're like, oh, look, it's keeps going out or it's fuzzy. I think the feedback for the stuff I've done, people really liked it.
yeah.
Have you continued to write?
Yeah, I mean,
And-
we're still trying to be creative. Like,
Yeah.
it's cool. It's cool. This is where it's cool to date a comedian because this is always who we are.
Right.
So we're always like with one-liners and being silly. So we're always trying to make that into something after things get a little more, normal.
Right.
So yeah, there's always ideas flying between us and stuff we're talking about and being creative, which is nice. And yeah, I've done some shows. There's some shows coming up. So
Yeah.
you're trying to write things about your experience, but not oversaturate the obvious shit because everyone's going to write the same stuff.
Right.
You're not experiencing a lot, so that's going to be a difficulty. You're stuck inside, but
Yeah.
it'll be a challenge. But I think having had it, we have a game perspective
For sure. I've actually written more actual stand-up through this than I have probably in any other 9-month period.
This meaning this relationship than COVID even. We became exclusive while under COVID. We didn't have it yet, but we became an exclusive couple while the world was shut down on COVID. That's the kind of decision making.
Yeah, we're like, well,
That
what chance do we have of meeting anyone else?
That's the fog.
It's the
right?
it's the limited ability to go anywhere.
That's
We were like,
We're playing
It's
the odds.
limited.
yeah,
off.
I can only have. I've already been around you very recently. Who else am I going to have over?
Yeah.
Let's just do this for now, and
Yeah.
then we'll see what happens. And then COVID came, and now we're just real tired all the time. So we're like, we'll just stay in it. What's the harm?
I did start painting during COVID too.
Oh, did you?
I did.
The bathroom or living room?
No. So it was a funny thing. I was driving home from Atlantic City. I had this feeling that everything was going to be going away, and I started freaking out about how I was going to make money. And I had a moment where I'm not really good at anything else. I like to drink, so then I came up with the idea that I would get drunk on bourbon, and then I would paint. And I've never painted before. So I put a Facebook post up saying that I was going to do this. I was going to start painting while drunk and then selling them.
Nice.
And I had like 3 people that responded immediately and said, I would buy anything that you put out there. That'd be great. So now I have to learn to paint. So like 3 days before I was going to start doing this, I went onto YouTube and found some painting tutorials and learned a process that I kind of got into, and I started painting. And then April 1, I started putting paintings up on Facebook and selling them. And in the course of the next several months, I probably sold 200, 250 pieces.
I'll be darned.
It was those same 3 people. It's the siblings. They're very, very generous.
Yeah,
They
they're
have a-
wealthy people.
I also, for extra money, got an OnlyFans, but
A
it
what?
turns out I got an OnlyFans. You know what that is?
No.
All right, I didn't think you did, but you have to. It's for people that are only your fans. They're a little risque, and people can send you money.
Oh.
It's like your own little private YouTube thing.
I
But
see.
it's called OnlyFans. He's going to be doing this as soon as this goes down.
Yes,
But
I
my only fan is Matt, which I found out painfully after I had my OnlyFans. Here is my OnlyFans. So it didn't go very far.
No, the money's
What do
just
you
staying.
Now I'm just selling his paintings on my OnlyFans. So we're just trying to
But I'm
pool our
but
resources.
I'm buying them. So how dumb are we?
If you had to take on an animal's persona to do your stand-up the rest of your career, what would that animal be? And what specifically, I mean, you have to put on the costume to go out on the stage.
Oh, so it would be like a shtick thing?
You would have to assume the personality of the animal and be the animal.
Were people high when they sent these questions in?
Yeah. Were the imaginary people on drugs when they wrote these questions?
Absolutely. There is
Okay.
no question.
I would be a llama, and then I'd have a really cool catchphrase like "Llama out of here, llama, get going." That would be my
That'd be-
closer. I'd go "Llama, get going," and then everyone would fall out. They'd love it. I'll be a llama, just for the wordplay.
A
Llama,
one hump or 2 hump llama.
That's camel.
yeah. It depends on how drunk I was. I
Do
mean, 2
llamas
humps
have-
is a lot. 2 humps is a lot. I'm not a young llama anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, llama is funny. It's a
Llama,
funny.
explain that. Llama, explain that. It's you just have to be creative and do a lot of wordplay.
Llama's a funny word Just llama.
Yeah.
Llama, llama,
Yeah.
llama, llama, llama. You could get the crowd just going together. Llama, 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 llama.
The saddest thing is that this is the most positive projection for my comedy career
I will say this,
that I
Craig,
would have had.
you saying llama like that sounded more like a banjo than we did.
Do llamas, can they transmit COVID?
They can get it, that's for sure. I don't know that they transmit it because I don't think they ever have. But if they have a boyfriend who cuts his own hair with a grapefruit spoon, then yes, they can get it.
But you like the haircut, right?
Said I did.
What would that animal persona be?
I would say chicken.
A chicken.
Yes.
Why and how would a chicken be funny?
Well, I would choose the chicken because I could sell eggs after the show. Everything about me is merchandise. It's how I can make extra money. So I would say chicken.
I thought he would be a chicken because he chokes. So then hold on, you're going to give us yet another reason why we're going to fight. So now we have to think, do chicken and llamas get along? Is that a follow-up question? Like,
It is for us.
No, but
all right, now this is hitting too close to home. Move on. What's the next question?
okay. What do you have against llamas?
That's right.
All we're saying,
Is
give masks a chance.
yeah, give masks a chance.
It's a
Imagine
great
all the people going to Applebee's again if we could wear a mask. Imagine all the people
Living in the world disease-free.
disease-free if you could just, at the very least, just be with one person during this whole thing and give it to each other or whatever, but don't spread it around. Nobody needs that misery. Contain the misery like Matt and I have. That's fair. That's
We've
fair
never
thing.
been closer because we have to be.
Because we have to be, yes. United by lack of choice. And that is romantic. That's very romantic.
And that's our healthcare system. She's my girlfriend because she's in network.
Like a little bit. So what'd you get at the Bardstown?
I had the fish sandwich with 2 pieces of fish.
Nice. So
And it was inspiring because, see, y'all are representing an era when a lot of that was going on then too.
right.
And it just
Social
didn't,
consciousness was definitely it had an upswing
Yeah.
when they were doing the being in the bed for peace and love. There was definitely their whole emphasis was social consciousness and becoming aware and shaking the apathy and educating yourself. So
Yep.
that is exactly the bigger meaning of why we chose to do this shtick, because of the parallel. None of that's true. He liked that wig and I wanted to wear these glasses, but honestly, also because we're very socially conscious and aware, which is how we got COVID, because that's how you get it. Nope, that's not true either. Really, I think it's a live and learn thing. We didn't know a lot about it, I guess. But now that we do know about it, now that we've gotten sick, definitely take precautions.
For sure.
People that think it's not real, that's absolutely asinine and just stupid. It's dumb. It's very real. It's an unknown pathogen. So we got sick, but we could give it someone, it could kill them.
Right.
So don't be an asshole.
And
And if you're going to be out, wear your mask in distance. Don't be an asshole. Don't be a selfish douchebag.
yeah.
No, the frustrating thing about this, when we had it and got through it, I was hypersensitive to people that weren't taking this seriously. And there were so many people that at that time, the narrative that was out there was how low the death rate was. And at the time, I was still doing my regular nightly videos to keep people apprised of what was going on. And the point I was trying to make at that point was, no, I'm not going to die from this probably, but that doesn't mean that you should want to have this.
Right. Or
It was
that you're not going to kill somebody else.
Yeah, it was absolutely terrible. It's the worst 18 days of, I mean, I can speak for myself, but I think that Melissa's experience was very similar based on what we were talking about. I was in bed 18 hours a day. I mean, it honestly was the sickest I've ever been.
The craziest thing too is telling people we had it and certain people literally saying, you had the flu. Like
right.
the level of denial and ignorance in people when you're in there, you're literally telling them, no, I had it. And this is what happened. And it wasn't the flu. And they would look at you and go, nah, you had the flu. So that is really, it's like certain people's level of ignorance and arrogance. It's amazing how they can just put blinders to actual facts because it doesn't fit their narrative. It's disheartening is an understatement, but we've experienced that too. We've tried to tell people like, no, hey, maybe you're not sure, but let us tell you it's a real thing. And they told us point blank, we didn't have what we had. That's insane. People are fucking crazy.
And
that's
I know
insane.
when my test came back and the nurse called to tell me that I was positive, that was heavy. That was a heavy moment. And the first thing I did was let Melissa know because we'd been around each other. But when I got that,
We've been around it. He means we were fucking.
Yes.
And I was probably going to get it. And I was afraid of getting lots of stuff after fucking Matt. But COVID was not something I thought would be one of them. Very scary. It is. It messes with your head.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what to expect. It affects different people different ways. And there's a mental element to it that really gets you like I started because there was stress when I had it and the fever. For a couple months I was like losing my hair.
Yeah.
Like I have a lot of it, so it was okay, but I was losing my, like a lot of hair because it was just, and then I found out it's an associative thing with COVID because of the fear and the fever. It's my body just, that's how it reacted. It was under so much, plus it affects your central nervous system.
Right.
So that's another, we were like, the mood swings were.
Mood swings were crazy.
Like 1 minute you were like really elated, then the next minute you were like sad, heavy, down in the dumps, like
I was having
anxious. It was terrible.
I was having night terrors.
Yep.
Like crazy, very intricately, dangerously sad, scary dreams. And it was crazy. I mean, there was just a lot to it. A lot of times the time that we would talk to each other on the phone would be 4 a.m. because we were up, because we slept all day.
Or even if you couldn't sleep, you had no energy.
Yeah.
There was just no energy. I think the fatigue is probably, from people I've talked to that have had it, the fatigue seems to be the biggest commonality.
Yeah.
It's just this heavy, like, you can't even get up. You can hardly sit up. Like it's this, your whole body feels like it's just shutting down.
We never lost taste or smell.
No.
Luckily.
But the taste got funky. And we couldn't eat.
Yeah.
Like there's no appetite. You're so tired and weak and you can't.
Right.
But everything tasted like I had a sinus infection, but I didn't lose complete taste.
No,
I never lost smell.
Right. You never
Did you go to the doctor?
I almost
did you go to the doctor other than a test?
No.
Not till after, which you've had post stuff. But no, because they tell you you can't go anywhere.
Right. Yeah.
Like stay at home unless you have to come because especially when, now too, but when we had it, they were really trying to contain it. So it was like, do not leave, go home and stay there. Like, unless it's emergent and you have to, and these symptoms, because luckily we didn't suffer too much of the breathing stuff.
Right.
So that was at that time more of the emphasis and focus was if you're having trouble breathing or lung issues. Thank God, luckily we didn't have that stuff with it.
Honestly, Kurt, we did manage to make each other laugh.
I had a wacky thing. We were laughing. There were some days we were laughing. Then there were other days it was not good. Like I was out to lunch and he was, it was just not good. But I had a thing where I was going to become a surfer. That was a weird thing.
You were watching.
I watched a lot of surfing videos, and I was like, "This is what I'm going to do with my life as soon as I'm okay." I am in fact not 20, and I've never really surfed, but I was like, "This is my calling." That was a very weird street. Like looking back, that was very funny.
Yeah, I can't.
And I told you, I was like, I want to go somewhere and just be a surfer, and I wasn't kidding. And you were very gracious.
Yeah,
you're like, whatever. If you think that's what you want to do, then it'll be hard in Kentucky. But let's see if we can.
Ohio River.
See if we can.
Had I gone through this, and if I didn't have Melissa, if I would have just been confined to this apartment without having someone that could relate to what was going on, and someone that I honestly do love. I don't know. I mean, emotionally,
I so wish I had that. That sounds like
awesome. But we're working on it. I said I'd change. But I think it would have been tough. I think going through this in true isolation with what the emotional component to this is,
Agreed.
I don't know what that looks like.
Yeah, no, agreed. We were very fortunate to have each other's company and conversations where we didn't quarantine together, but we talked often and communicated to check in, and that was very, very important. Yeah, it would have been way scarier not having that. I agree. Because it's a scary thing. I mean, and so for people that have that are isolated by themselves, people don't realize, like we said, it affects your central nervous system. So you're feeling so much, you're going through so much, you're afraid. It's a pretty devastating. It's pretty devastating. And then just to think of the people that it breaks my heart to think of them with worse symptoms or people that didn't make it out of it. You know, the proponent that it could have been, you know, less impactful if precautions were taken sooner. That's beyond tragic. That's beyond what I can even. It's just so heavy to think that people lost their lives because of poor planning.
Yeah.
In, you know, in a time where we have the technology we have the ability we have, it's pretty disgraceful.
My prayer, and I don't pray a lot, but is that y'all do not experience the what do they call them, long hauler stuff.
The long-term effects, the long haulers. Yeah. Well, we don't either. I mean, there's so much unknown. I think that's another part of this that's like so disconcerting and scary. Is there's just not enough known about what the long-term effects will be. And we've had some. We've suffered some post-COVID stuff. Yeah. So we don't know what it looks like later. But, you know, I know there was one article we read, well, multiple articles where there's like significant heart damage if you've carried the virus, even if like there's people getting scans and it shows that they've had like major heart attacks and they've not had any of that, but it's just the scarring of having the virus. So, you know, there's things we're obviously going to have to keep up on and keep checked out because we don't know.
This is another example of why
we drink.
Where I really hope that what we come through this with is accessibility to healthcare.
No, please, yeah. 100%.
I mean, it really if there's ever been a time when it's obvious why everyone needs access to healthcare, it's because of something like this. Because you just don't know if 2 years down the road there's going to be something that's part of this that exposes itself. So I hope that this is something that weighs heavily in that process, because we all need access to the best coverage possible.
And all the people.
It's literally why Matt chose me, is the romanticism of the basis of our relationship at this point.
She has healthcare.
Yeah, I have healthcare. He's a road comic. You can't get more beautiful than that. That's true something.
It'll be
built
real. It'll be built into the proposal.
COVID bought me so much that I didn't want, and Matt is definitely no exception to that. So we're just
it seems hurtful.
We're riding that storm.
I laughed at your llama joke. You could at least.
I'm a comedian. That's why.
Okay, well that's good, because that's an important part of y'all. Obviously have a good relationship because you've studied this, you've thought about it.
So we talked about farting and poop came up a few months back.
Yeah.
And we're both on the same page of like very uncomfortable about the whole bodily function of it.
When we're on the road, and we have done some road dates together. In fact, the only comedy that we've really done has been together through this. But if we're in a hotel room, neither one of us are using the bathroom until we get home in our own places.
Right. So we're gonna have something colon. We're gonna have to have like our colon chucked down.
Yeah,
there's some kind of pancreas.
Or we're gonna have to have some kind of a meeting that's gonna have to be mediated by somebody. Like we're gonna have to come to an agreement.
Get over this. Yeah, but I don't see it happening.
No, probably not. We're literally scared shitless around each other.
I dated a girl one time. This is no kidding. We were in a hotel and we were sharing, a hotel room, and I was in there shaving, and we hadn't been together but like, 3 times, overnight.
Oh,
and I'm in there shaving in the morning. She walked in, sat down, started taking a shit right there.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
We dated for another year.
Sure.
You know what's interesting about this interview?
No.
There's 2 things I've learned never to ask a woman.
Oh gosh.
Do you want to know what they are?
No.
I'm gonna tell you anyway.
Okay.
How old are you, and when are you due? Those are the two things. So how old are y'all individually?
I'll be honest. It's been a rough year, but I think I look pretty good for 65. Now, I'm 51.
How old is he, Melissa?
Matt is 51.
Matt, how old is Melissa?
She's younger than me.
The BG.
Okay, boogie nights is a
Boogie
little
night.
bit
We're
of-
talking about boogie
You don't
boarding.
think staying alive would be more applicable if you're trying to boogie board for the first time in a big wave?
Yeah,
Staying
right.
alive, you're trying to
That's
stay
true.
alive.
Staying alive. Yeah.
I'm
And
not
then you
gonna.
hit, and then
We're on low battery on the.
okay.
recorder.
So hey, y'all
Sorry.
did wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This was fun.
I hope that you don't hit the rocks when you're boogie nighting into the beach, because you could
Yeah,
be in.
no, I'm gonna be staying alive.
Hey, love you guys. Thank you so
Love
much.
you. This was fun.
No-